Don't worry about me, I'm a thug. You kill a street nigga, get a dime. If you kill a rap nigga, get a dub. Big chain on my neck, don't budge. Fucking days loaf like a stud.
In the vegetables, eating the vegetables, schedules, second the vegetables, didn't find sentimental, sweats on the zone, the stretch mental. Extraordinary, the thought is extraordinary, till they turn astronomical and non-phenomenal, they're non-abominable, mindable, and abdominable, punch him in the stomach, open his dominoes, non-abdominal.
Hip hop is a black cultural art form. So therefore, the default for any white artist is distance, not inclusion, as it should be. When you consider the history of white people poaching from black culture, running off and doing some whole other shit with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think it's like, I used to be like, damn, why isn't my shit being centered more? I'm doing so much more than this or whatever. It's like, dog, again, as it should be, hip hop oftentimes highlights and amplifies stories that reaffirm black excellence against systemic odds. And so my story isn't invalid, it's just non-instrumental because it doesn't do work for the culture the way that those stories do.
Yeah.
And so trying to like, but what about me? It's like, it's not about you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think letting go of some of that, like, but I'm over here and I'm doing so much more. It's like, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean it's not real.
Right.
But it's like, that's not going to help the cultural narrative.
Yo, so we back in here for another edition of F-ya-Motha, and that was Russ. He's a white rapper, white Jewish rapper, and I don't necessarily like his music. It's not bad. It's just not my flavor. It's decent. I've never really had too much of objection to it. I don't think I've ever did a video where I badmouth it. It's solid for a dude that actually takes the hip hop craft serious. He has decent chorus lines. Wordplay is cool. He's not like no Eminem or no Logic. Those are two white boys. Well, Logic's mixed, but those are two non-black people that actually have a real firm grasp on like the English language and diction. He's not bad. Sonically, the music, I can't say that is bad. I just like, it's not my cup of tea. It's good for, like, you know what I'm saying, what he's trying to do. I salute him on like making music, calling it hip hop, and not deviating from the actual art form. So that's all I got to say about him. In regards to what he was saying, he's right. A lot of people on this damn app down in the comment section give me a lot of shit because they be like, oh, you just hater. Oh, I did a video about why black folks need to start gatekeeping hip hop, and so I had some jackass put a comment talking about, yeah, you should also gatekeep the guns and drugs, to which I had to remind them, we actually don't actually have a handle on that, or control, or a racket on that. That comes from the Russian mob, the Asian mob, Serbians, Israelis. What else? Who am I leaving out? The Mexican cartel. Though you'd have to talk to them. And I say the Russians because of weapons, Israelis because of weapons, Serbians because of weapons. And if I'm not mistaken, the AK-47 isn't actually manufactured in America. It's a Russian rifle. So the fact that anybody would come on my comment section talking about we need to gatekeep guns and drugs, last time I checked, and that's just the last time I checked, I could be wrong, while we distribute them shits, where you think they coming from? Fentanyl comes from the Asian triad, the cocaine comes from the cartel, heroin comes from the Yakuza. Like, the fuck we talking about here? More guns come from Serbians. Hell, Israeli people were actually selling us guns in the selling the American government guns in the 1980s, which is how the Israeli Uzi got to American soil. Like, that's not our fault. Like, we didn't bring that shit. In the words of Nino Brown, it ain't a nigga with a plane or a poppy field. So when people make stupid ass jive ass comments like that, I comment on this in the comment section. But when I say stuff like, you know what I'm saying, we need to start gatekeeping hip hop, it's not necessarily because I think white people shouldn't be included in the art form. It's just that most of them, like Post Malone, Jack Harlow, even new Eminem works, and we can keep going on, right? There's two things going on with white rappers. They either use the art form how it's supposed to be used, right? Bars, lyrics, and they take the shit serious. And as soon as they become mainstream, they cross over like Post Malone, they start doing folk music. Or they cross over and they start doing bullshit trash music like MGK. Or they cross over and they start doing music like Macklemore. Like, we could keep going on. It's all these like weird, even Vanilla Ice. He came in the game doing hip hop. Once he broke through, got $20 million, he started doing grunge, which is still a black art form, but then hijacked by Kurt Cobain. That's another episode for another time. They just have a knack for using hip hop as a crutch to get in the music industry. And that to me is the problem, not the fact that they do hip hop. Because I admire anybody that uses hip hop as a craft and takes it serious. Like, I don't like the fact people like Post Malone use hip hop. First single was called White Iverson, which is literally a hip hop / sports staple in the black community, and then have the audacity to go and do an interview and say, I'm not a rapper, I don't do hip hop. Now what the fuck you call it, right? So yeah, to keep people from hijacking hip hop and then using it as a crutch to get in the mainstream music industry, I just prefer if it's just like gate kept. You know what I'm saying? So we don't have Miley Cyrus's doing a whole bunch of features or having a whole bunch of features from Nicki Minaj, Lil Wayne, so on and so forth. And then later on, after taking a hiatus from doing a whole bunch of cocaine and heroin, come back and talk about she was under the influence of drugs. Right now, bitch, it wasn't heroin that made you twerk. You do it down on your own recognizance, and you didn't even do it good. I'm just put that out there. So. And before I started playing Russ's video, I played that video, another culture vulture. I don't even know his name, but he's like a white version of Kodak Black. Needless to say, this nigga was picked up and been locked up, and I think he was sentenced to 30 years in prison for shooting somebody in one of his ops in the face. So yeah, thank you, American judicial system, from getting him the fuck out of here, right? There's less confusion in the game. We don't need knockoffs. Oh, and also the second part of people that are non-black to come in the game, right? If they're not doing hip hop in its truest form, to use it to actually cross over and do mainstream music, they use the most shittiest low common denominator nigga to imitate, right? Like that white rapper that is like the white version of Kodak Black, right? They use the most degenerate, despicable niggas in the game, right? Niggas with no talent, no knowledge of hip hop, hell, no knowledge of self, and they imitate that. Yeah, we could do without that. Like, give me the white version of Talib Kweli or Black Thought or DMX or Big Pun, Jay-Z, Nas, Tupac. There's no white equivalent to that. There is a white equivalent of 3-6 Mafia, aka Lil White. There is a white version of Kodak Black, that monkey ass motherfucker that just went to prison. There is a white version of, like, the black people that in the black community aren't there admirable. There are white versions of Sexy Red. Show me the white version of Queen Latifah, I'll wait. Show me the white version of Nicki Minaj, besides that Sunny Benzie girl, right? That was just a ripoff. Show me the white version of Lil Kim. While Lil Kim had trashy aspects, she also had songs that were uplifting, and she had songs that had nothing to do about the hood, like Ladies Nights or I'm from Brooklyn. Show me the white equivalent of Eve. You can't do it. Eve wasn't just about money and sex. If I'm not mistaken, Eve had a single called Love Is Blind, went platinum, where she talked about domestic violence in a relationship. Show me the white equivalent of people that do positive rap music, not white people that imitate niggas that do degenerate, despicable, dirty, filth ass shit. Which, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that. We need a little bit of stank every now and again, but too often, yeah, we could do without it. In any event, if y'all like this episode, you know what to do, and I'm out.
No.